The studio was being filled with chords and perfect pitches as I was setting up the studio. The plan was to take photographs of Kristen or Daniel, but instead she was drawn to the piano. As her fingers were hitting every note to perfection with no sheet music to guide her, her angelic voice surrounded the air with a muse of serenity. Ever since she was a little girl, Kristen has always loved music. She has made that her dream, reality, and future to be a part of music. Throughout her life, Kristen has gone through many heartbreaking obstacles, but music has been her escape to overcome them. She was first introduced to music back when schools provided musical education for their students, but due to many budget cuts, schools are now cutting those art programs. Kristen wants to help spread that musical outlet to children because she wants them to experience the same musical education she's received and also help them find a path to a potential music future. Kristen is 17 years old and the youngest of her two sisters. When she was 9, her mother died of breast cancer, and that was a very tough time for her. Kristen has been in choir since elementary school and is now in the highest choir in Mountain View High, Madrigals. 2 years ago, Kristen was in a cappella, and they were playing a tour to Puerto Rico during Thanksgiving break. During this time, Kristen's family was going through financial struggles.
My mom passed away when I was 9 from breast cancer, and when that happened, my dad took over as my main parent. He was pretty supportive of my music career. He actually didn't care what I did. He helped me pay for my tour to Puerto Rico for choir, and around that same time he went missing, and then we found out that my dad was in the Santa Barbara River.
On December 29th, a lady from the Santa Clara Coroner's Department came over to tell her older sister that the body identified in the river was indeed their father. And according to her older sister, Kristen was an emotional mess. After losing her mother to breast cancer, she lost her father too. Her father was a musical inspiration. They both loved to sing and play guitar. Her father knew how to play guitar, and she wanted to teach herself how to play it too. Kristen settled herself by taking the computer Danielle was using to type her homework to use it as her sheet music. She started playing a cover of Viva la Prima Donna on the piano while she and Danielle were harmonizing. Kristen is a very oxymoron character. Her favorite artists are usually non-hip-hop mainstream artists like Regina Spektor, Panic at the Disco, Sarah Bareilles, Ingrid Michaelson, Fleet Foxes, and Monsters and Men. But she really likes the band Fun, a very mainstream and popular artist on the radio. She says that they're great live and that they use autotune as a stylistic effect rather than hindering their voices to hide the fact that they can't sing. Kristen is the type of person who cares about the meaning and story behind the song lyrics rather than who the artist is. She's also not the type of person who listens to music whenever she's feeling sad because it'll just make her more manic depressed. In 8th grade, we were auditioning for a solo in an upcoming choir concert. One girl sang My Immortal by Evanescence. She left the room crying, and I asked her what was wrong, and she told me that song reminded her of her mother. Without the presence of her mother, Miss Jill Dunny helps fill in as a second mom to Kristen. She really helped Kristen when her father went missing and after she passed away. She paid for a trip to Puerto Rico, she's going to pay for her vocal lessons, and she's even paying for the phone she's using now.
Yeah, she's kind of like my second mom. Until last year, she spelled my name with an I instead of an A. I was just like, that's okay. That's okay with everybody.
Miss Denny also fought for Kristen to stay in Mountain View after the school threatened to kick her out because she didn't live in the district anymore. Kristen and Miss Denny, along with other choir students, help out at Oak Elementary to provide music to those children because the school doesn't have the funds for music classes. I went in one Wednesday morning to see how these morning classes were like. When I walked in, a ton of little children came running through the door excited to sing. It was 7 in the frickin' morning, and these kids were already up. It was crazy. I told Miss Denny how surprised I was, and she told me, well, they're all having fun, so they don't care what time it is. Miss Denny created this program so that these children can have a comfortable place to sing and be with their friends.
Well, I feel that music kind of creates community. When you find somebody that has a similar music taste to you, you'll automatically click with them. You know what I mean? You're automatically friends.
Studies show that listening to certain type or types of music can help give teenagers access to a peer group of other teenage listeners. These kids now have a safe place where they can sing and be with other peers who also love to sing.
When you enter a music room and you just focus on singing, all your problems disappear because that's all you're thinking about.
If you're in a room with people who love to do the same activity as you, then you'll most likely build a great friendship. Kristen has met a majority of her friends through choir, and that wouldn't have happened if they all weren't comfortable with each other and didn't share their love for music. Miss Denny, Kristen, and many others are trying to bring that musical environment to younger generations so they can have the opportunity to be exposed to that atmosphere. Kristen is creating a new club at Mountain View High School called Improv Club.
It'll give people a place to be able to express themselves in a creative way.
Not only will it give people a chance to practice their acting skills, play fun theater games, and perform in front of small audiences, they will also fundraise for the Saving the Arts program to help arts in schools that can't afford it.
If there hadn't been any arts programs at my school, I definitely don't know what I would be doing with my life. So helping other people find that outlet is a big part of what I want to do.
If arts can be saved at school, there will be more children exposed to the benefits of music, arts, and even acting that can improve their life skills. Kristen is now a senior and has many options for college majors.
Sophomore year, I did a musical called The Wedding Singer, and I found out that I really love musical theater, as well as choir and stuff like that. But also, I really love musical theater, and that's when I started to really like Broadway. And so I thought about majoring in musical theater, but then I realized I'm a terrible dancer. That's not going to happen. So yeah, I decided to major in vocal performance, which I've kind of always been leaning towards.
According to Kristen, if she somehow became deaf and couldn't listen to music anymore,
I'd kill myself. It's not a joke. If I went deaf, I'm pretty sure I would die. Or unless I was one of those special people that could feel vibrations, be able to tell pitch through vibrations, I think I would either die or get into a really good college because they'd be like, oh my god, she's deaf and she can sing. This is the best girl ever.